Hi, everyone. I'm Payal, and welcome to Passion Projects, the show where we explore how people turn what they love into what they do. What is the first thing that comes to mind when I say chiropractor? Do you get nervous because of the misconceptions associated around the profession? To be honest, I was hesitant at first too, because of the rumors. But after being diagnosed with scoliosis at the age of 18, I wanted to explore alternative ways to heal my pain. And that's when I took a leap of faith to have my friend, who is a chiropractor, adjust me. And boy, did it make a world of a difference. When I moved to South Florida, I wanted to continue seeing a chiropractor and find someone who I could trust. And that's what brings me to my next guest. Someone who's redefining the wellness space on her own terms. Meet Dr. Latoya Evans, a powerhouse chiropractor, entrepreneur, and an advocate for accessible care. From opening her own clinic to navigating the challenges of building a business in the healthcare space, Dr. Evans shares what it takes to thrive as both a healer and a founder. We explore the passions that brought her to chiropractic care, the grit it takes to run her own practice, debunking the myths of a chiropractor, and the rewards of creating a space where health and empowerment go hand in hand. So without further ado, let's welcome in Dr. Latoya Evans.
Okay, well, Dr. Evans, thank you so much for joining us today on Passion Projects. It's so lovely to have you on.
Yes.
I want to begin the conversation like I like to do with everyone. Okay. I want to know, what is bringing you joy, both personally and both in your work life?
So for me, that's a great question. What brings me joy? I'll start with work. So in terms of work, just really having my practice now for 7 years and being able to help countless amounts of people every single day, that brings me joy. And this is my passion. I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I am so happy to be doing that. And then personally, I love traveling. So that brings me so much joy.
Any next destinations on the horizon?
So, yes, I am going to be doing a solo birthday trip.
Oh,
yes. So I'm going to be going to St. Lucia. So I'm really excited. I'm researching. I already got the hotel. It's beautiful. So I can't wait to explore.
Yes. Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. Well, I want to begin by asking you, what first sparked your interest into chiropractics and holistic medicine?
Okay, so how I started was I was at the University of Florida. I was in this organization called MAPS, Minority Association of Pre-Health Students. And while being at MAPS, they had different speakers that would come on, through like every other week. We would have like meetings with these different speakers. Some would be nurses, some would be dentists, pretty much any type of medical professional. So I remember there was a night where I was just thinking about, what am I going to do? I was about 19 years old, and my parents were like, be a pharmacist, do this, that, and blah, blah, blah. And I had just taken my organic chemistry test. And I was like, I literally got home, I prayed about everything, and I was like, God, just direct my steps. Let me know what I should be doing. What is my next step? What career path I should follow. So now the next day, I go to this organization's meeting. They have a guest speaker, and it just happened to be a chiropractor.
Wow.
And so I don't know, everything he said just made perfect sense. And I was like, this is for me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I went up to him right after he finished, speaking, and I told him, I said, can I find out more information? And it just, at 19 years old, I knew that I was going to be a chiropractor.
That's amazing, because some people to this day still don't know what they want to do, and so it's nice that you
had confirmation. Yeah, it just made so much sense. And I did a lot of research. I did a lot of shadowing and everything, and I was just like, this seems like fun. I was like, it's just a job. You go to work, you get to help people, you enjoy it, and that's what I love doing.
it's rewarding on both ends for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's awesome. So when did that moment come for you when you were just like, I want to open my own clinic?
So I worked for a few different people for about 5 years. And I had always kind of said to myself, by the time I hit 30, I want to make that leap, and I want to make that decision to open up my own practice. And to be quite frank and honest, I started kind of feeling bored at the job that I was currently at. I didn't feel like it was a challenge. I felt like I was just going in and just kind of doing my work and not really getting anything out of it. So I know at that point in time, I was like, I need some sort of challenge in my life. Yeah. So I decided shortly after that, I was like, I'm going to, open up my own practice. I'm going to just go ahead and pursue doing my own thing because I needed to level up.
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah.
And I have to share the story of how we first met. I mean, it was like how you talk about everything aligning. I remember I was really pregnant and calling a bunch of different clinics and just trying to figure out what worked best for me, because I love adjustments, and I love like the care and the patient care and everything like that. I'm all about holistic medicine and ways to heal. And so the sweet lady on the phone was just like, so loving and so caring. And I was just like, oh, I have to go here. Somehow, some way, I have to figure out a way, and I'm going to come.
It was Miss Lorraine?
Yes.
Yeah. She's so sweet. Yes.
Yes. And like, oh, you like nursed me back to health. I was having those sciatic pains and all the things.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny because we were just saying how I have known you, when you were pregnant, and now your son's about to be 4.
I know, right? How does the time fly so fast?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
I mean, we talk about time flying. When you were opening up your clinic, what were some of the challenges that you faced that you had to overcome?
Well, everything. There's so many different types of obstacles, but I when you're in school, you learn how to be a doctor, but you don't learn how to be a business person. Mm-hmm. And so it was a challenge of knowing, first of all, how much supplies, and just trying to understand my overhead, understand the flow of patients, the flow of money. It's a lot of different things, but one thing that I did do was I wrote out a plan of how I wanted my business to go. I really kind of organized myself in that way, and just keeping organized. Like, I think that that's what you really have to do if you want to execute having a good practice. So.
No, that's
so
important and so key and so vital. How about being in this like male dominated field?
Oh,
was it challenging in that sense, being a woman in there and like trying to showcase and prove to everyone that I have the skill set, I can do it?
So that's a good question. So even going to school, I would say that the majority of people in my school, I would say 20% were females and the rest were males. So I already knew that coming into this type of environment, I was going to have that sort of obstacle. But it's not even an obstacle to me, because when you are unique, you stand out. Yes. And so I never let it be a detriment to me that I am a woman. I think that actually makes me stand out above the crowd. And, I specialize in seeing pregnant women and children. So a lot of my counterparts, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And a woman's touch is always better, softer.
I completely agree.
So I think that how being who I am, I think it's actually an advantage. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. What about surprises? Was there something that surprised you when it came to owning your own business?
Okay. So what surprised me? I would say that honestly, dealing with the employees is harder than dealing with my patients. You'd always think that even if I'm seeing 20 patients for the day, it's just a matter of making sure that everyone is on the same page. Right now, I have a really great team and staff, so I can't complain, but there have been times where that's been one of the biggest obstacles and challenges is just making sure that you have people who are the right fit, who understand what your goal is, what we're trying to achieve, how we're here to help people and serve people. Not everyone is always on the same page. So that's definitely an obstacle that I've definitely faced.
And in those sort of circumstances, how do you feel like how do you ground yourself?
For me, I definitely make sure that I work out and when I'm stressed out, that's something that I have to do. Sometimes you have to just kind of take a step back from the situation and really like think about it, the big picture of everything. So I'm a big picture person now. Sometimes I used to let the little things bother me, but as I grow and, through business and as a person, I realized that you have to look at the bigger picture of everything. So
is that one of the lessons that you've learned that's made you into like this business leader?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. You can't dwell on every single little thing, nothing is perfect, but you can definitely try to achieve, and try to do your best. And I give myself grace. So I think that that's one of the best things. And I'm very empathetic and understanding. And I think that that's what you have to be. So, and what I'm trying to do is I want the girls and the people that work for me I want them to be the best version of themselves. I want them to be future leaders. I want to empower them so that they can do and go on to do great things too. Like that's really my goal. So
that's fantastic. That's such a good goal too. And you talk about like not dwelling on things as well. We had a guest on who is a sideline reporter who is just like, you have to learn the reps in order to get there. But like, if you stumble upon something, you can't think about it, or you got to keep going.
Yeah, I'm a solution-based person. I think that personally, I've always been a very emotional person, but the business side of me has made me a solution-based person, which is good because when you are someone who may be a little bit more sensitive to things, because you have learned from how you have to find a solution to whatever the issue is.
Yes.
So I carry that over to my personal life too. So it's made me a mentally stronger person.
For sure. Yeah, that's amazing. What is your personal philosophy when it comes to patient care?
So for me, I want to find out what is your goal. Like I'll ask a lot of my patients, okay, so what is something you can't do now that we would like to try and achieve? So I want to help you achieve your goals and for you to feel better.
Yeah. I love that. What about misconceptions? There's so many misconceptions, I feel, when it comes to
chiropractic in general.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, there's so many. One of the things that I would say is that people think that chiropractic is painful. A chiropractic is not something that is painful. We use all different types of tools. So I have tools, I use my hands, and each person's treatment is different. Yeah. So the treatment that I give to you is going to be a different treatment than I give to your husband, than a treatment that I would give to your son. Right. So I make sure that I cater it to every single person uniquely. Another misconception is that what people ask about the noise that is, they hear, that's really the crack or pop. That's just the release of gas between your joints. So, and we know what we're doing,
right?
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true, because I remember when I first was thinking about it, I was so afraid. Yeah. And then I remember one of my good friends was just like, no, it's like fine. It's a good thing, right?
Yeah. People also, I would say another thing is they think, why are babies getting adjusted? Babies don't need to be adjusted. It's so important that babies do get adjusted because the pregnancy, the whole process is so rough when birth happens, and they can't talk. Their little spines can be affected, and they can be very colicky, they can suffer from gas, and they can't really tell you, that, oh, you know what, my C2, my C1, something is out of place. So that's where I come in, and I'm able to check properly what's going on. And the same thing for pregnant women. People think, oh, I'm pregnant, I can't get adjusted. No, getting adjusted while pregnant is actually going to help the whole birthing process move along smoother. So that's just a few of the things. People think that how you only come to the chiropractor for car accidents. No, I see all different types of people. I can adjust different areas. We can do treatment plans for that. The chiropractor can help you with a lot of different things. So.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I remember, if my mom knew growing up, I remember when I had gone to the doctor and they're just like, oh, you have scoliosis.
Yeah.
And I was diagnosed at 18.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
just like, if she had known this prior to,
you would have been
probably born with it,
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's something that you could have been managing with a chiropractor for years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which leads me to understanding, like, how do you follow the current trends and, the new devices and technologies that are coming into the market?
So I do continuing education all the time. Right now, I'm actually working on something called my pediatric diplomate. So it's where I'd be certified officially as a pediatric chiropractor. So yeah, so I'm always doing classes. I love learning new things. So I'm always watching different videos and just trying to keep up with everything. But yeah, I have to do continuing education every other year. We have to complete it. But I probably do exceed more than the usual person anyways.
Right.
So.
Is it good? Are these trends, what's coming in the market?
Yeah.
Do you find that they're beneficial?
Not everything. A trend is a trend.
Yes.
I saw that there's like robots that are giving massages now.
I know. How do you feel about that?
No. No, I think that there's nothing that you can compare to the human touch of someone actually giving you a real massage. I don't know about the robots giving massages.
Yeah, like these AI technology and the evolution of that, like, is that scary? Does that scare you as like a practitioner, Like,
yeah, I think that AI can be beneficial in different ways, but
right.
I don't think that I don't think they're going to take over our jobs as chiropractors, because at the end of the day, that's a machine.
Yes.
So I don't think that's going to happen.
Machine learning so different.
It's a machine doesn't have the personal relationship, even if they can try to create it to that degree. It's not going to be like me. So
exactly, it's not. Yeah, that human touch. There's something to be said about that, and both in every facet of life. I find.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would be one piece of advice you would want to give practitioners that want to open their own business?
I would say my advice is do it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. You can figure out a way. You do your research, about the area that you're looking into. Make sure that you're able to go to the bank, and there's a lot of ways to get different loans. But don't be scared. Just do it.
What about when you first opened your doors here? Yeah. If you could tell your younger self something, what would that be?
Relax. Everything's going to work out. I had a lot of nights where I was up. I remember I used to come in from 7:00 in the morning, and then I would leave here 8, 9 o'clock. Then my brain wouldn't turn off. I would just continue, I couldn't sleep because I'm okay, thinking about this or that and so forth. But sometimes you have to just do one thing. You chop down one tree at a time. You can't do the entire forest. You have to just handle one thing at a time. So I would just tell my younger self to relax. Everything's going to work out.
And mentally, how has it been, now that there's so many tools to keep your mental mindset and your mindfulness, is that help just meditation?
For me, I like to do yoga. I like to go work out. I like to go painting. I have different hobbies that I've taken on. So I think that how that helps.
Yeah.
And just knowing too at the end of the day that everything's gonna work out and be okay. So
Everything is going to be okay.
everything is gonna be okay. Like you just, nothing's gonna stop and it's not gonna catch on fire.
No,
So
exactly. Well, what is next for Dr. Evans?
wow, that's a great question. So next for me, really in the future, I would love ideally to potentially open up another Island Breeze, that would be wonderful, expansion also something that I've thought about. So we'll see. So stay tuned.
That is so exciting. Well, for everyone to follow along and to come visit
Yes.
you, where can
Yeah.
they find you?
So we are on pretty much every platform. We're on Instagram, we are on YouTube, we are on TikTok, we are on Facebook. Just look up Island Breeze Chiropractic. You can call 954-720-3002 to schedule a consultation with me. And the office again is Island Breeze Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Latoya Evans. So
And I'm Payal, and I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much
Of
for joining us today on
course,
Passion
yeah.
Projects.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was wonderful.
This is so fun.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Passion Projects. If Dr. Evans' journey inspired you, or if you learned something new about chiropractic care, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Follow us for more stories of purpose, perseverance, and people turning passion into impact. I'm Payal, and I'll see you again next time. Take care.